Good morning. This is Nancy Ayana Wyatt. I'm trying an experiment here using Zoom. What I want to do is to read one little chapter along with its opening narration of a story from my book. The book is called Three Hots and a Cot: Stories of Courage from People Struggling with Homelessness, Addiction, and AIDS. So what I'm going to try to do is to do this dramatic reading, which is unrehearsed, and I haven't done it for years, while I simply put up my picture so that you don't have to watch my eyes reading. So are you ready? First will come the picture, then will come the recording. I was going to say then will come the prayer, but maybe I should have started with that. Okay, I am going to switch. Hang on, stay with me. Okay, I'm still here. Are you still here? I hope you're still here, because I messed up. I was going to do something and then I did something else instead. Oh, it is so much like me. Okay, so this is the narrator's introduction to a script called Quicksand. We, the people of the human race, are fascinating. We let our minds play tricks on us. We actually react as though homeless people we see on the street somehow were born that way, as though they came into existence as full-grown bums and never had a house or a family or a job, and never will have a house, family, or job. The truth is, everyone you see had a mom. Everyone you see was a little kid once. Most of them did have houses, families, and jobs. Listen to how a typical American suddenly becomes homeless when a series of events spirals him downward until he feels trapped in quicksand. Starving and ill, he tries desperately to claw his way back to normality. I should add before I do that script that the stories in my book, Three Hots and a Cot, are true stories of real people whom I did meet, and their courage was amazing. So let's talk about quicksand. He says, "Sometimes I remember it like it happened yesterday. Sometimes I can't believe it happened to me at all. Hunger. That very word gives me chills. All of you can identify with having your stomach growl and being irritable until you get food. What you don't know is what happens when there is no food, when the stomach quits growling and starts cramping, when the body loses control over all its functions, when the mind can focus only on food, eventually to the point of hallucination, when the emotions change from irritable to violent and then to despair, and finally to dazed apathy as the body grows weak. I first became acquainted with hunger when I was a kid with too many brothers and sisters for Mom to feed on her salary as a secretary. Some nights we went completely without supper. Other nights we had only potatoes or bread and butter sandwiches. Yuck. By evening, I couldn't concentrate on my homework or even sleep because of the gnawing hollowness in my gut. Mom used to catch me sneaking into the kitchen in the middle of the night, trying to steal some crackers or milk. Imagine feeling guilty and thinking of yourself as stealing when you're just trying to get food in your own house. I felt tired constantly and daydreamed in class. When you're always hungry, you can't pay attention. My teachers never did know what was happening, and they didn't try to find out. They just labeled me dumb and put me on a track for the learning disabled. Mom did her best, though. You can't fight the system, and I don't blame her. But I was real glad when she finally got married again and we could eat better. That was just a preview of what would happen to me later. I grew up in DC, graduated from high school, started college, then got married and found a good government job. Everything was fine for a while until I got riffed during the so-called recession. It has been more like a depression for me. We couldn't live on my wife's salary. She's a practical nurse. And my pride couldn't have taken that anyway. I searched and searched for jobs. As each frustrating day passed, my wife and I fought more and more. There was no money for a babysitter. So when my wife worked days, I had to take care of our newborn baby girl instead of going on interviews. Time seemed to be an endless procession of coffee cups, want ads, and phone calls, punctuated by the baby's cries for me to change her diapers and my wife's cries for me to change her life. I could handle the first, but not the second. So my wife took our little girl and went back to North Carolina to live with her mother. When she did that, she hurt me real bad. I can't talk about it even now. I was still shell-shocked when only 2 days later I was evicted for not having the rent money. Icy fear shot through me when it became clear that I, Daryl, was still going to be out on the streets with a bunch of derelicts and bag ladies, with no job, not knowing where my next meal was coming from. Nothing, not even Vietnam, ever made me feel that totally powerless, that scared. I was completely unable to think what to do. I didn't even have a car to live in, so I just packed my gym bag with underwear, pictures of my baby, and an iron. I don't know where the hell I thought I was going to plug in an iron. In my turmoil, all I knew was I need to look good enough to get a job. That iron was heavy, and I tossed it the next day. What little money I did have was used to buy food and newspapers at first. But the money disappeared so fast that soon I only got newspapers left around the metro, and I bought candy bars instead of hamburgers to keep hunger at bay. I had headaches all the time. I was searching dumpsters for scraps and waiting outside of restaurants at night for when they throw away all that perfectly good food. My stomach would growl so loud that people would look at me. So I coughed to cover up the sound. And I thought I was going to pass out all the time. It was weird. The hungrier I got, the more my sense of smell increased. Not only did the aroma of Popeye's chicken drive me crazy from a block away, but I gagged at the smell of people's body odors, even perfume, and exhaust from cars. Then I would throw up or get the dry heaves right here in public. My damn bowels were running too. And of course, the whole time I'm trying to psych myself up to get a job, right? Right. I did get an interview once. Hid my gym bag under a dumpster and prayed it would be there when I got back. Tried to stand up straight to keep my hands from shaking long enough to fill out the application. Prayed I wouldn't vomit or faint or fart. Tried so hard to smile, but kept imagining that I looked like a grinning skull on top of a scarecrow's body. The woman was very nice, but seemed a bit shaken by my appearance and was not at all fooled by my charade. When she said there were no openings, my great act fell apart. I could feel my expression crumble into tearful dejection. I could feel my body sag against the wall for support. I pleaded to her with my eyes, "My God, woman, think of something. For Christ's sake, can't you see I'm starving? Can't you see I'm trying? I'll do any damn thing. Just give me a chance. Give me some food. Please help me." She gently repeated there were no openings in my field. Even as she handed me a token dollar, I could feel the hallucinations starting up again. My stomach started churning and I retched over and over again. And then the diarrhea came. Man, I was totally humiliated. People passed me like I had leprosy. I was stripped of every shred of human dignity. I was so ill and so embarrassed that all I wanted to do was die. And die I would have if some other so-called bum hadn't come up to me and said, "Hey man, I'm going to try to get a bed at a shelter. Want to come with me?" And then he gave me half of a dried up sandwich from some food line he'd been to as we painfully made our way up the street to the shelter where I got the help I needed. That's the end of that script. The next one is from a person who works at the shelter who remembers that guy, and then who says, but the ones who get to him even more are the women. So I'm not going to do that script now. I'm going to stop this, and we're going to find out if it worked. Please leave your comments. If you can see this, I would love to have your feedback. I'm going to try it in multiple ways, so hang with me. Be my best critiques. Thank you. Bye.